And back here in U.S. medical news, California's Board of Pharmacy is discussing new regulations that would require state pharmacies to provide translated labels on prescription drug bottles. But many oppose the requirement. Some pharmacists, for example, worry that it would open them up to liability if there's a mistake in the translation. They say it could increase the cost of malpractice insurance, which would make its way down to the consumer and what they pay. But advocates say that the benefit to patients who speak limited English outweigh those concerns. And in other medical news, the Surgeon General's office issued a new call to action about a particular form of cancer. For more on that story and other medical news, we turn to our Rise News medical contributor, Dr. Aletha Maybank. Hey, Aletha.
Hello, how are you?
Good to see you.
Good.
So, we've talked about skin cancer many times. It's been in the news a lot, but the Surgeon General is getting in on it.
Right.
Why is that significant?
Well, it's the first time the Surgeon General has actually ever said anything, and not this particular one, but any Surgeon General has actually said anything towards skin cancer. And most of the reasons probably because he is a dermatologist himself, so it's of clear significance to him and importance, but it is significance as a public health issue to this country. 5 million people are treated for skin cancer every single year, 63,000 with the most severe of melanoma. And a lot of it we're finding is attributed to tanning beds in many areas across the country, and especially among young people. And so this is really an effort to call attention to the risks of tanning and just the risks of sun damage and what can happen.
Is this a matter of lack of information or misinterpretation of information? Because I feel like the news media has done a great job of reporting the dangers of exposure to UV light. So why does this trend remain of the incidence of skin cancer even with tanning beds?
Sure. I think a lot of people don't feel they're going to be at risk for getting skin cancer. We know that it does increase your risk, whether it's tanning beds or getting sunburns, especially, or tanning just in general. And this is for all shades. All of us can be at risk for getting skin cancer. But I think we don't connect with it because if we don't see it, we for some reason think we're going to probably be immune to it.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people associate skin cancer with perhaps a mole that goes wrong, but skin cancer can be, frankly, deadly.
Oh, quite deadly. And for certain cultures, actually even more deadly. We know for African Americans that melanomas are actually particularly deadly because a lot of times doctors or we do not think we're going to get cancers, and we actually die at higher rates from melanomas. So all the more important still to use sun protection. 15 is what the recommended low amount is. If you have kids, you use 30. You look on the bottle, you should be protecting against UVA and UVB. UVA is for aging. UVB is for the burn itself. Because what people don't realize is that even tanning, you're killing your cells. You're killing the DNA and they're killing the cells. It's almost as if you're scarring. So when you get injured, your body kind of does something. It helps repair itself. That's exactly what's happening when you get tanned. And so imagine if you get burned, it's just damaging. And over time, your skin has a difficult time to repair itself.
Before we turn to our next topic, let me just ask you, is there any reason or benefit to use those higher SPF sunscreens that, because there's SPF 50, SPF 100 now?
Yeah, they usually say above 30 to 40 doesn't usually provide that much more added benefit, but depending on what your skin tone is, really depends on kind of the level you should really have. But you definitely should have a minimum of 15 as an adult. Again, 30 for a child. Above that, they're still, really looking to see what is the need for it. The interesting thing is that just recently, this past Monday, the House passed a Sunscreen Innovation Act. It's the first time that the FDA will be able to and actually will approve a new sunscreen. They haven't done this since the 1990s because of all the bureaucracy and the process that it takes. And so there are a lot of products that have been on hold that potentially are beneficial that we haven't been able to use. So now we'll be able to use them, hopefully, and they'll be able to get passed, and we'll have some new products to protect us.
All right, that sounds like a good thing. Let's move on quickly to our next topic. And this is not really surprising to me, but it's such an important topic, and that is dieters, young people who diet young have consequences older
as they get older, right?
Yes.
They followed 1,300 women. They started in college. They asked them what their diets were like, followed them for 10 years, and that's why this study is a significant study, because it's a prospective study, and found that at that 10-year mark, these women were more likely to have way excessive type of eating behaviors, not particularly a surprise, more likely to consume alcohol, also more likely to be obese as the 10 years went on. So again, just showing the impact of what unhealthy diets, fad diets, image, all of that can have impact down the line for a child's
And
life.
it's so scary because now little girls as young as 5 and 6 years old
As young
are
as
dying.
3 years old in this study.
That's crazy, absolutely crazy. All right, we'll have to leave it right there.
Okay.
Dr. Aletha Maybank, thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
And that's going to do it for us today. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow for another edition of Arise America. Bye-bye.